Hi, Glenn Phillips here with Lake Homes Realty and lakehomes.com. Today, I want to talk to you if you are a first-time lake home buyer about 5 questions you need to be sure you ask. And if you don't, I promise you're going to regret it. So, question number 1 is ask about bridges. Are they nearby or far away? Why? Getting from one side of the lake to the other can be really quite the haul if you don't have a bridge nearby. We have markets where you can see across the water and you can see homes pretty clearly, and it may take you 30, 45 minutes to get to that house by car because of how far it is to a bridge or some end of the lake. And that's very important. Likewise, if you're wanting a quiet environment, you may want to be some distance from a bridge where there's not as much of traffic filtering off and it gets more quiet and secluded. Next thing you want to ask about is water levels. Lakes are not just fixed, particularly man-made lakes. They tend to vary seasonally, and so the water level will go up and down. They may lower it even more every few years so people can do maintenance along the shoreline. But they also can vary, we have lakes where the water level per day will vary 12 to 18 inches as water is actually pumped up and then brought back down for cooling or for power generation or cooling for power generation. In fact, in many cases, that's why those lakes exist, is for that utility, and this is big reservoir system for them. So the water level will vary. Don't assume when you go out the lake in the summer that that's what you're going to get during the day or in the winter or every year. Next thing you want to ask about is shoreline regulations. You think, well, I bought this property, I'm going to go down here and put a dock or a pier. There are lakes we have all across the country where you're not allowed to do that. The entity that runs that lake, it may be a power company, it may be a Corps of Engineers, it may be a private entity, will have regulations of what you can and can't do. And even if you see, like, oh look, they've all got a boat dock, that may be by permit, they may have a limited number of permits, it may be grandfathered in. So don't assume because of what you see that you know what you can do. It may even restrict the vegetation that you may be able to cut along the shoreline. And they really can get you a fine on that. So don't just assume, well, I'm going to come in and clear this out and put a dock or replace a worn one. The next thing you want to ask about is land restrictions. Now, you may be familiar with HOAs and if it's a planned development, that's going to be pretty normal. But many of these lake markets are older, and so it's not just what you can do, but it may be your neighbors are not restricted. So maybe you want to bring a travel trailer and you can't. Maybe you want a beautiful house and don't like the fact your neighbors can all put travel trailers. Each has their own lifestyle, but you need to ask, what about the land you're at and nearby? And the fifth thing to be sure and ask is about water restrictions. From lake to lake, what you can do on the water isn't a given. Some places restrict motor boats by size or don't allow them at all. Watercraft limitations, they may or may not allow jet skis. Even if you see something, you don't assume that's the way it works, because that may be somebody breaking the rules. And you don't want to get surprised when you move in. There are other questions you may want to ask as well, and the best way to do this is to be sure you work with a lake expert real estate agent who's going to know not only the answers to these questions for your lake, they will know other questions specific to your lake. We have a host of agents across the country. If you visit lakehomes.com, you can find them in our agent section. They are licensed exclusively with us, and they're experts at their local market, so they'll know the questions to help you as a first-time lake home buyer. Be sure that you don't get a surprise that's unpleasant once you get in what you hope to be your dream lake home. They'll help you get that perfect dream lake home, and we're here to help. So visit us at lakehomes.com, where you can also see tens of thousands of lake homes and lots that are for sale right now to help you find your first dream lake property. Thank you and have a great day. For more information, be sure to check out lakehomes.com.